Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I am doing some blossom gel designs, blooming, blossom, whatever you want to call it. I call it blooming, but it's up to you, and I suppose depends what your brand is as well. So I'm going to be using this colour here from Nail Reserve as my design colour. The base colour I've used for this is Dove from Nail Order. It's just a nice neutral, like semi-sheer whitey colour. So I wanted that because it will hopefully help this bright pink stand out a lot. I'm going to use my blooming gel from the Gel Box UK because I do love this one. Haven't ever tried the Nail Reserve polishes for blooming, so we'll see how they get on. So I've got a nice even coat over the entire nail, and I'm just going to go straight in with my colour. So we're going to go in, first of all we're going to do the typical flowers. So we do need to be quick with this because, as you can see, it is blooming really well actually, which is good. So we're just going to do 5 large dots, and then we're going to let them do their thing. And then once it's spread as much as I want it to, I'm going to pop it into the lamp. It has spread pretty quick actually, which is good. We don't want to be sat here for ages, so I'm just going to put that straight into the lamp, get it on, get that secured. And then next nail I am going to do some detail as well with chrome, but for the next nail again I'm just coating the entire nail with the blooming gel. Like so, and then I'm just going to start off with a dot in the middle, and then I'm just going to do like a backwards S shape, I suppose is the best way to describe it, like so. I'm just going to wait for that to move around a little bit, and then I'm going to go in with my smaller dot and do the same thing again, but alongside it with the smaller dots. And I've purposely waited for that first lot to spread before doing the next one because I want that to be smaller dots. And then I'm going to fill this gap up here as well, like so. Put 1 dot down here and then 1 tiny one up here, and that's that. I'm going to put it in the lamp. And then moving on to the next nail, we're not going to actually cover the entire nail this time. We're just going to cover a section of it. So I'm just going to go in and create a shape on the nail. I'm just going to do that sort of shape. Like so, make sure it's where I want it to be, and then we're just going to create dots over that whole area. I'm going to use my large side again, and that will of course only spread to where I've put the blooming gel, and that will stop blooming. So I'm just filling in that gap with some dots, and then once it's moved as much as I want it to, again I'm going to pop it into the lamp. And then for the next one I'm going to do almost like a French. So I'm going to get my blooming gel, I'm going to apply it in a French sort. In fact, I'm going to take the tacky layer off this so it's a little bit easier to see where my blooming gel is going, and I am going to place some of the blooming gel on a nail art brush so I can create the French shape. Okay, so I'm going to do that first, and I can just fill it in with the bottle brush. So I've got some blooming gel on my brush, as you can see, and I'm just going to create my French. Taking the tacky layer off really helps with this because you can see better when just the area that you do the French on is nice and glossy. Just getting a little bit more on the brush, and I can just fill that in. I'm going to hope it's nice and neat. seems like it is. It doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, and then once I've done that, I'm just going to take my side walls down a little bit further. So I'm just going down that side wall. And I'm going to get to the same like the same depth on the other side, so it's nice and even. Making sure as I go along that it is, and hopefully it is. I think so. Again, like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect because I'm going to go in with some detail of chrome after this. Okay, and then once that's on, I can then go in. Oh, I've got a fly in here. I'm going to go in with my dots. So I'm going to grab my colour again on my dotting tool and just get to dotting. I do wipe my dotter off every now and then to make sure I don't have a build-up of blooming gel on it, because then it won't bloom as well. Okay, and then once I've done that and I'm happy with that again, I'm going to pop it in the lamp. And then we've got one more nail left. And this time we're going to do similar to the one that I covered the entire nail, but we're not going to cover all of it. We're just going to do that middle line this time in a different direction. So I am coating the entire nail again. Like so. And then I'm going to pop a little bit more of my colour on my palette. Going in with my large dot again in the centre, and then we're going to go up this way and down this way, like so. We're going to let it bloom for a second, and then again, once I'm happy, pop it in the lamp, and then we can get on with our chrome detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a matte top coat to every nail, and then I'm going to buff over gently all of them. I'm not going to do all that on camera. Obviously matte top coat is just one coat of polish, it's nothing exciting. So I'll do one nail of that on camera just so you can see me do it, and then I'll do the rest of them off. And then we'll do a quick light buff over all of the nails, and then we can get on with our chrome. So I'm just doing a nice, oh no, it's pulling it. It's the only problem with matte top coat. Need to bear that in mind for the next coat on the other nails, that it's going to run a bit. So there's that one. I'm going to pop that one into the lamp and then paint the others real quick. So I'm going to be using Banksy gel paint from a nail order, and then I'm also going to be using the gold chrome from Tia's Beauty. So I'm just going to gently open this. She says, why is this so difficult? Oh, because that's not why you're supposed to open it. That's probably why. Sorry. Let's just pretend that I didn't do that and actually open it properly. There we go. That makes more sense. So I have, like I said, I've matte top coated them all. And then all I'm going to do is just very, very, very gently. Of course, we don't want to cause any damage to the design underneath. But I'm just going to wipe over with some acetone. And then I'm going to go in with a sponge buffer. And just very, very lightly dust over with that to make sure there is nothing on the surface of this nail that is going to have my chrome stick to it. Basically, I want to make sure that it's completely matte. We don't want to buff too much and take off any of the design or colour or anything, so we're just being really careful with that. And then once I've done that, I'll give it a quick wipe over to make sure it's nice and clean. And I'm going to do the same thing on all the rest of the nails. Okay, so I've buffed them all really quickly, and now I'm going to go in with my details. So I'm going to go in with the black gel paint, and anywhere I put that is basically where I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using my chrome. So I just need to cut a bristle off my brush that's been driving me mad. There we go. So I'm just going to pick up, I'm doing quite thick lines of this because I really want the gold to be like quite prominent, because obviously at the moment they're all just pink, so I want to break that up a little bit. So I'm just going to go with a line here, and here, like so. And I'm going to do some small dots as well. I'm going to do those dots around here. And here. I'm going to pop that into the lamp-free full cure. And then the next nail, we're just going to do nice and simple. We're just going to have some dots in the centre of the flower. Like so, different sizes. And then I think I'm going to do a border actually. I know I said nice and simple, but I just can't leave things alone, can I? So I think I'm going to do a border. Don't want it to be perfect. Purposely want quite squiggly lines so it's a bit abstracty. I definitely should have thought about what I was going to be doing before. But, you know, sometimes it works out well not having a plan. Sometimes it doesn't. You just don't know. So, just got to go with it. And when it's a design like this on some nail tips, that's when I'd rather not have a plan, but I like to test out the no plan idea. Because obviously it's not going to upset anyone if it looks rubbish, because it's not on anyone's nails. So, it's fine. Okay. Add in a little bit of extra detail. And the next one, I'll just put, oh gosh, just put that one in the lamp. So this one, I'm going to do a line. Again, wibbly wobbly around there. And then I'm going to do a second line as well. And that's it for that one. And then I'm going to do a line to outline this one. I want it to like obviously look like it's meant to be a French, but I do still want that sort of not perfect look about it as well. So this one's going to be a bit tricky. I'm just going to get the initial line on there and then do some tweaks to it. I think that'll do. I like that. It's not too awful where it looks like I've done a bad job of a normal French, but it's also like all right enough for it to look like it's meant to be a French, and that's good. In fact, I'm going to add some dots to this one as well, because I can, why not? just going to do some up here, I think. So we'll just do some naturally getting smaller ones. Like so. I'm going to pop that in. And then last but not least, oh gosh, that's not come on. Last but not least, we've got this one here, which you can probably guess what we're going to do. We're going to outline both the sides. So I'm just going to create again a nice wiggly line to outline like so, and that is all I'm going to do with that one. So that one's going in now, all the others are out, so we can do those while we're waiting for that. So here's what they look like so far. To be honest, I think they look pretty cool with the black, but I do want to go ahead with the chrome. So I'm just going to get a little eyeshadow brush. I like to give my chromes a tap on the lid before I open them, just to make sure that there isn't loads in the top. So I am just going to use what's in the lid, because that is plenty for just detail chrome. So I'm just patting it on for, to start with, and then like so. And then I'm just going to use the other side to brush off as much as I can. And I will tweak it in just a second. So again, it's going in with what is in the lid. Wiping as much of the excess off as I can, and then again back into the lid. Got 2 lines on this one, so that one's pretty easy and quick. Wiping off the excess again. And then next, got the French with dots. Just gone over with that that's already got some on there, so that's a bit pointless, but it's fine because I'm going to get the excess off in a minute. And then last but not least, we've got this one that's in the lamp, so let's just get a bit more on there for that. And there we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a dry lint wipe and just wipe over with that. And that will help me get off the excess without taking it off where I want it. You can also go in with a fluffy brush, which does pretty much the exact same thing. It's completely up to you and what you've got in your drawers, basically. I did just do this one, but I did actually go a bit too much and wipe off some of the what's it called, chrome. So I've just popped a little bit more back on and then dusting over again to get off the excess again. Super easy. And then they're all ready for top coat. So let's get straight into that, because it is nearly 11 o'clock at night and I am ready for my bed. Just going to find my top coat, that would be helpful. There it is. Right. Straight in. Let's get going. See what they turn out like. I'm super excited to see these. To be fair, they look really good matte, so I have no doubt that they're going to be beautiful when they've got top coat on. Ooh, I love it. Looks amazing. So I'm going to pop that in. I'm not going to talk through doing it all because it's just top coat. Super easy. Just Just making sure to coat absolutely everything to make sure it's all nicely encapsulated. Obviously it doesn't really matter as much, because it's not like they're on anyone's nails and I need them to last and stuff, but just in case if you're doing it on someone's nails or your own. I really love how these have turned out. They're very pretty. The gold looks really good actually. I was a bit, because I was originally going to be using a red in this video and I knew that gold would go really well with that. I hadn't planned for it to go with pink, so when I changed the colour scheme in my head to pink, I was concerned that I should have probably changed the chrome colour as well, but I'm not concerned anymore. It looks lovely. So we're just going to wait for that to cure. I'm going to have a quick tidy up of my desk and then I will meet you back here for us to see what they look like. Okay, so here is what they look like. I am so happy. Oh, got hiccups with how they turned out. I can't put them on my usual, like, what's it called? I usually put them on a brush. Oh my gosh, my hiccups. I usually put them on a brush with some double-sided tape on, but my double-sided tape is not sticky anymore because I've not used it for ages, so I can't do that, and I don't know where my roll of it is. Oh, I'm so sorry about the hiccups, they've just come out of nowhere. So yeah, that's a bit annoying, but this is how they turned out. I hope you liked them. I absolutely love how they turned out, honestly. In love with this set. I think it'd look amazing in any colourway as well. I keep trying to pause for me to hiccup and then I press play and I hiccup straight away. It's really annoying. But I'm going to go because they're going to get on your nerves, because they definitely get on mine. So let me know which one is your favourite. I think the middle one is my favourite, and then I really like this one actually. But I like them all. I think this this end one looks really effective as well, to be honest with you. But who doesn't love blooming and blossom gel? Honestly, it's great. So yeah, let me know which one is your favourite. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.